This is the global standard for a pizza, a specific balance of charred dough, melted cheese, and crushed tomatoes. But tracing the actual lineage of this dish takes us far away from the European peninsula. Welcome to the channel, where we look at the specific histories behind the everyday things we take for granted. In northeastern Jordan, archaeological digs at a Neolithic site called Shubeika 1 uncovered charred fragments of wild barley and einkorn. Baked over hot stones roughly 10,000 years ago, these primitive dough discs are the earliest evidence we have of intentional bread making. This ancient combination of grain and fire was a staple of the Neolithic diet, existing as a basic food source long before it became a modern national icon. By the time of the ancient Greek empires, this flatbread had become a portable meal called plakous. Soldiers baked these dough discs directly on their shields over open fires, adding olive oil, local herbs, and cheese to create a calorie-dense ration for the march. The Romans adapted this technique to create panis focaccius, baking their flatbreads directly in the hearth. We actually have a surviving record of this diet in a poem from the 1st century called Moretum. The text outlines the ordinary day of a peasant farmer, detailing how he prepares his modest meal by layering his baked dough with aged cheese, garlic, and fresh herbs pulled straight from his garden. For thousands of years across the Mediterranean, this was simply an edible plate. It provided reliable calories for the working class, but it was missing the specific ingredients that would define its modern form. Those ingredients began arriving in the coastal city of Naples in the 1500s. Spanish ships returning from Peru brought back a strange red crop that had never been seen on the European continent, the tomato. European aristocrats initially viewed the plant with deep suspicion, believing the nightshade fruit to be poisonous. Because the wealthy refused to touch it, the crop was left exclusively to the Lazari, the most impoverished citizens of Naples. Desperate for cheap calories, the Lazari crushed these tomatoes and spread them onto their daily flatbreads, along with garlic, oregano, and olive oil. Sold by street vendors to fishermen and laborers, this portable meal became known as the marinara. The street food proved so popular that by 1738, a vendor named Antica Pizzeria Port Alba transitioned from a street stall into a fixed venue with an oven and tables, creating the earliest known pizzeria. The intersection of a misunderstood foreign crop and extreme urban poverty had created the exact flavor profile we recognize today. The dish's most famous legend takes place in 1889. The story claims that to honor a visit from Queen Margherita of Savoy, baker Raffaele Esposito designed a pie using red tomato, fresh white mozzarella, and green basil to match the newly unified Italian flag. But the historical record suggests a different story. Archival copies of the Geneva Gazette from 1880 note that the Queen was already sending for local bakers to make her seasoned flatbreads nearly a decade before Esposito supposedly invented the dish. Tying the colors of the pie to the flag was a successful piece of marketing. It helped move pizza from a street-level peasant scrap to a point of national pride. If you want to see more real stories behind the food we eat, take a second to hit the subscribe button. At the turn of the 20th century, a massive wave of Italian immigrants crossed the Atlantic, bringing their coal-fired ovens and neighborhood recipes to cities like New York, where the dish remained a niche ethnic specialty. That changed with World War II. American GIs stationed in Italy tasted local pies and developed a craving for the dish, which they brought home with them after the war. Seeing this spike in demand, an oven repairman named Ira Nevin designed the first commercial gas-powered pizza oven. This removed the logistical barriers of wood-fire baking, allowing for rapid expansion. This industrial shift took an isolated immigrant specialty and pushed it into the American mainstream. In 1970, an anthropologist named Ajananda Bharati coined a term to describe exactly how this American expansion impacted Italy. He called it the pizza effect. The cycle begins when a localized peasant dish leaves its home culture through migration. In the host country, that item is altered, expanded, and intensely commercialized into a mainstream product. Finally, this modified version returns to its culture of origin, with a massive boost in global status, prompting the locals to reclaim it. This massive commercial feedback loop forced Italy to re-examine the dish, elevating it from a street-level peasant meal into a protected cultural art form. To defend their claim over the dish, Naples founded the Associazione Verace Pizza Napoletana in 1984. This organization established strict, non-negotiable standards for what can legally be called true Neapolitan pizza. Every physical property is dictated by these regulations. The center of the pie cannot exceed 0.25 centimeters in thickness, and the outer crust must measure exactly 1 to 2 centimeters high. These rigid laws sit in contrast to the diverse variations the dish has taken on globally, from Chicago's deep dish to regional adaptations found everywhere. Today, a single slice of pizza is a record of human history. It reflects the rations of ancient armies, the global exchange of crops, and the massive demographic shifts of the 20th century. Thanks for watching. If you want to see more stories like this, make sure to like the video and hit subscribe.